Hi guys, this is Lisa and Angie from One Love. Hope you guys are having a great day today. We are here at the studio today and wanting to show a couple different ways to get into downward facing dog. So downward facing dog is a very strong foundational pose of yoga. We go in and out of a lot of other yoga poses coming from downward facing dog. So it's definitely a really strong pose that is used a lot in more active yoga classes, and there's different ways to get in and out of downward dog and just wanting to really break down the pose for you guys today. So I have Angie here to demonstrate our first version of downward facing dog, and this is for someone who might have arthritis or other physical ailments that prevent them from really getting down on their hands and knees, and this can be done right up against the wall. So Angie, if you'd like to go ahead and stand with your feet hip distance apart and reach out to the wall, standing with the wall arms distance. Perfect. And then you want to go ahead and reach the hands up a little bit above the shoulders, as if you were more on a yoga mat, and spreading the hands apart a little bit. So getting a little bit more space, a little bit more than shoulder distance apart. And then at this point, she can begin to lift her hips back, pushing back through the arms, bringing the heart down towards the floor. And this is a first version of downward facing dog. If you would like to go a little bit deeper than this, you can begin to step the feet back, making sure to keep them hip distance apart. And then that'll allow you to lower the head a little bit further, bringing the heart down a little bit closer to the earth. Really getting that long extension in the back. Long stretch in the arms. So this is our first version. Thank you so much, Angie. And we'll go ahead and come out of this slowly, stepping up to the wall and coming out of that pose. So now we'll go ahead and show you some positions on the mat. So if you want to go ahead and find a tabletop position, Angie, bringing hands right under the shoulders, knees right under the hips. Also even looking behind us, making sure that the feet are right behind the knees. So making sure everything feels nice and aligned, back is parallel with the floor here in this tabletop position. So getting ready to go into downward facing dog, we're going to reach the hands, bring a little bit more space between the hands, bringing the pinkies towards the outer edges of the mat, similar to the wall, getting a little bit more distance between the hands. And then curling the toes under behind us, and then on an inhale, pushing up through the hips, lifting the back of the body, pushing back through the arms into downward facing dog. So Angie's a pro. This is beautiful. So the heart is coming back, the seat is lifted up nice and high, really getting a nice long extension and stretch in the spine. She's really melting the heart back, seeing that she's putting the pressure of her hands into the fingertips, keeping the pressure off of the wrists, so really pushing into the pads of the fingers. So Angie, go ahead and lean forward a little bit. This is more of what not to do, and we do see this a lot where you see how by leaning forward, now the pressure, her arms are right over the wrist, putting the pressure on her wrists. And her back is now rounded. It doesn't have that long extension. So this is a common area here. Also in the shoulders, see how the shoulders get really hunched up right here. So we just want to gently come back, lifting the hips, pushing back through the arms a little bit more. All right, Angie, if you want to go ahead and sit down and come back into tabletop and just take a break. letting her get just a break here. Also in I'm taking a child's pose. This is really great to do in between, especially a really active flowing yoga class. Anytime that you become physically challenged or emotionally challenged in your practice and feel that you need to take a break, you can always come down into child's pose and take a break. And then gently coming out of that when you're ready, inhaling, coming back up to our tabletop. Bringing hands back under the shoulders, knees right back under the hips, lining everything back up. And then whenever you're ready, Angie, inhaling, lifting the hips up and pushing back into downward facing dog. Reaching the hands out a little bit more, getting a little bit more space between the hands. And now looking at more so the legs. So again, this looks perfect. Angie's really flexible, so you see that her legs are almost all the way straight, but there is just a very soft bend in the knees. You can put an even more deeper bend in the knees. The heels don't have to touch the mat. They can be lifted off a little bit, so putting a little bit of a bend in the knees. You can lift the heels up off of the mat a little bit as well. And here you can also pedal it out, bending one knee and then the other, really getting a nice stretch in the hamstrings and the back of the legs all the way through the bottoms of the feet. Beautiful. So again, the heels do not have to come all the way down to the mat, so you don't want to strain by trying to get that heel to come down. You can keep a nice soft bend in the knees. Now the feet, you do want to have the feet at least hip distance apart, if not a little bit wider, maybe even about as wide as the mat. And then you can even turn your heels out to the sides. So taking a little bit of a wider stance as well, getting a little bit of a deeper stretch. Again, heart is melted back, really letting the head hang heavy, looking at the wall behind you, really letting the upper half of the body hang heavy. Making sure to keep the shoulders pulled back so you're not hunching into the shoulders, but really keeping them pulled back. All right, if you want to go ahead and exhale, coming back down into tabletop, Angie, and take a break. Beautiful. So those were just a couple tips and tricks regarding downward facing dog. It's a beautiful day here at One Love, and we've really enjoyed sending this video out to you guys. Please let us know if you have any questions or comments by commenting below, or you can always feel free to message us on Facebook or shoot us a message through our website, and we'll love to speak with you. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Namaste.